you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting up for Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting up for Team 1's northeastern player, working our way westward across the map, blending in his environment in the northeastern corner, possibly a rearguard airslot, most likely a land. He is Spectre Slave 137 as a UEF, as a 1500 in Snow White. To his west in Light Oak Tan, we have Telemazer fitting his name as a Cybern. He is a 2,000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1, and tied for the highest overall. To his west, in the middle of the Team 1's lineup, we have Sleep Pride as a Seraphim in Orange, Color Orange as a 1500. To his north, in the northwest corner to his east, we have Vaswam. I never know how to pronounce his name. But if anybody does know, please let me know. But I think I'm putting Vast for short. He is a UEF in Royal Blue as an 1800. To his southeast in Pac-Man Yellow is the Siren player of Cups in, again, as Pac-Man Yellow as a 1400. And last but not least, for Team 1 in Rust, we have Zwirerzak as an Aeon as an 1800. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions at a minimum, with 2 UEF and 2 Cybern augmenting those numbers. So that is going to be, again, 1 Seraphim, 1 Aeon, 2 UEF, and 2 Cyberns. So for Team 2 side of the map, starting in the opposite corner of Spectre Slave, we have in Barbie Pink, Neuroxis. He is a Cybern as a 1500. Spelled similarly to Neuroxis, but that's more Necrosis, I think is actually how you would pronounce that. So I'm going to try to remember to say that. I probably will just say Neuroxis by accident, but that is Necrosis. Almost the same as Neuroxis, just a couple of letters off. And again, he is a Cybern as a 1500. To his east in Batman Gray's, Dimitri 11 already headed to the north side of the map as a 2000 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2, and the player with which Telemazer is hired for the highest rated overall. He is an Aeon. In Tropical Ocean Blue to his east is Toka as a Seraphim as a 1600. As Chevy Crimson as an Aeon, we have Babel going first land, second air. To his northeast, we have in Amethyst Purple Snog as a Cybern as an 1800. And last but not least here for Team 2 in the southeastern corner of the map, most likely the rearguard airslot player of his team, it is Plunder, going as a UEF in Stitch Blue as a 1700. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have one of each of the factions at a minimum, with 2 Cyberns and 2 Aeon, leaving them again with 1 Seraphim and 1 UEF, which means neither team lacks any of the factions. The difference between both teams, Team 1 has 2 UEF and 2 Cyberns. Team 2 has 2 Aeon and 2 Cyberns. So it looks like the Seraphims are the odd mans out on each of their teams. And with 12 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at 39,000 mass in reclaim. That means it's over 3,000 mass per player. Probably about 3,100, maybe even 3,200 if I can do almost 3,300, I think. That is a lot of mass to scoop up in this game. Most of it is just everywhere, but there is a 5,000 mass clump, very bright orange in the middle of the map, with a couple of 3,000s, almost 4,000s flanking it in northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest, which does explain why players are already headed there to scoop it up. And for Team 2 side of the map, let's take a look not only, of course, at the reclaim, but the mass extractor locations as well. Cutting the map down the middle, probably kind of at a diagonal angle a little bit, because it's going to run through a couple of mexes. We have, let's see, this will be Team 2's over here, this will be Team 1's over there. A Trimex position that Snog is already at, another Trimex position right next to Babel. Quadmex position in the back here for most likely Plunder. Maybe he'll gift over a couple to Toka, probably not, but maybe. And then a Trimex position in front of both Dimitri and Necrosis. Again, I have to pronounce his name deliberately so I don't say Neuroxis by accident. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see where our players are off to. We already stated that, of course, they are going for the reclaim in the middle of the map. I mean, having 39,000 mass and reclaim on the field, and there are tons of clumps. Players, just as I should have expected, transports outbound, dropping off engineers, trying to aggressively reclaim, but there are already units outbound here from Team 2's Babel. He has Ghetto Gunship online, Ghetto being only one unit there, and is actually going to send that transport after those units on board that transport. We have another pseudo Ghetto Gunship online here for Cups as well, going after these engineers. Doesn't want to drop his engineers until he is safe to do so. Unfortunately, the T1 PD is online, and because that transport landed, or barely almost landed, the T1 PD was able to target it. Babel does finish. The T1 AA will force off the transport. Will need to drop off his units as well. The transport lands. The pseudo Ghetto Gunship here, or not pseudo, but the Ghetto Gunship for Babel is online as well, killing off those engineers. More engineers dropping here for Spectre Slave from the northeast. And Sleep Pride has made it to the middle of the map. Her units outbound from Toka, the middle player on Team 2, dropping in units as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in one form of another here. Cups is inbound as well with his commander, and I would not be surprised to see, it looks like that might be Toka's commander. Yep, it is in from the south. It does look like that Zwirerzak is actually falling back, moving into the west. Over here, he is the player from Team 1 on Team 2 side of the map behind Dimitri, looking like he's going to support his forces over there. Looks like they finished reclaiming that group of wrecks over there. Team 1 land facility being spammed up very, very quickly here for Spectre Slave. He really wants to assist not only himself but his team in grabbing this amount of mass as fast as they can. Of course, there's more mechs up here to the northeast and the southeast as well. Units outbound here from Snog on this eastern side, pressuring against Spectre Slave. He's more focused on the middle of the map. Looks like he actually built the facility, transferred it over to Cups, because he now has to shift his focus over to that eastern edge. But Sleep Pride is, and Team 1 in general, is probably going to get a decent portion of that mass, a little bit more than Babel. Babel's been focusing on going after the security, or getting some PD online to secure the position. And there is now Toka arriving as well. And Babel's going to reclaim his own structure, because he's like, that's my mass. I paid for it. I want it. Bye. And again, it's 1 Cyber and 1 Seraphim on both teams here, so no disadvantage one way or the other. But the initial advantage does go to Team 2's Toka at 11.5k versus Cups 10k hit points. But there is a Team 1 PD barely in range of Toka's commander, who has now fallen into the yellow. But again, that is a little under 8,000 versus the 9,000 onboard Cups. We could see a possible murder-suicide situation in the middle of the map here, but I will want to split this up just barely, keeping the focus, of course, in the middle with Dimitri moving in. So it's going to be 3v2 here shortly for Team 2. While on the eastern side, Team 2 Snog has severely pushed into Team 1's territory. We have forces outbound from Telemazer, and now, of course, the comm of Spectre Slave moving in to deal with this attack. Similar attacks are outbound on the western side here for Team 1 from Zwirerzak, but he hasn't pushed in as far as his opponent of... Who's that? Snog? I have to remember who it is. And of course, Enrox is holding position with some infrastructure as well. And I think at this point, I can end the split for a little bit. Looks like things have calmed down over there for the eastern side. Gun speed and range has been started for Sleep Pride's commander. Dimitri and Toka has fallen into the red, sub 1,400, sub 1,300 hit points actually. Has now started the retreat order. Team 1's done a very good job in holding off Team 2's 3 commanders. So again, like I said, Team 1 will net a bigger portion of the reclaim, currently sitting at 20,000 versus 16,000. Almost as much mass was started in the beginning of the match. It has been reclaimed, almost nearing that, essentially 40,000 mass. Gun speed and range and gun damage and range going on here for both of these comms in the east for Team 1 and Team 2. And I think at this point it all goes down to whose comm finishes the upgrade and can get there before, if the other one does finish. We do see that Spectre Slave is about to finish, and reinforcing units and distracting units outbound from Snog, moving in to pull back Telemazer's commander. They're going to run in right into him, and that's not going to feel good for those Medusa and Mantis. That gun upgrade will finish, and that one for Snog has stopped, which is definitely not good, considering that he's already 50% of the way there. And if Spectre Slave moves in with his commander, that upgrade may not finish, and he'll waste all of that mass and energy on that upgrade and get nothing to show for it. That's obviously the one frustrating thing about it, but it does happen from time to time. We do see piercing units outbound from Sleep Pride going straight through Team 2's defenses, essentially moving around both Toka and Babel. Toka is in the red still, sub 1,000 hit points. There is a Jester outbound from Team 1's Cup using the advantage of the Sirens with that Team 1 gunship. It's not very strong, but it's something. And will the gunship kill off the common? It does. Team 1's Cup secures the kill on Toka, and it is now a 6v5 in favor of Team 1. And that gun upgrade does finish for Snog. It is, again, a UEF versus a Siren. The hit point advantage goes to the UEF. More units inbound here and more PD being built here for defense. Spectre Slave is just going to let Snog crash on top of him. Units for him aren't even going to move. And that PD just tries to get blitzed down by that overcharge. But, of course, it is not dead as of yet. The attacking forces outbound from Snog have been pretty much routed and forced back. Reinforcements are slim to none. And now cutting off forces for the west here for Telemazer going for his gun upgrade with some T2 Rhinos to boot. And we do see that Babel's being surrounded a little bit here by Team 1 forces, but there are a couple of Team 1 units, not large groups of them, and give them a little bit of efficiency, but nothing too worrisome. Most of them more artillery anyways. Hard to target a comm that constantly moves. No, nice little AoE, but it's not going to do as much damage as a direct fire shot kind of thing from a tank or other units. T2 units also online here for Babel. And it does look like that Dimitri will inherit everything that Toka owned, which, I mean, it could go to either him or Babel, and they're kind of both in the middle, so that works out that way. We do see in the west, Team 1's Warzek has advanced range and gun on board, speed on board, I should say, because he does have 2 gun upgrades. Nano done here for Neuroxis, so that's going to fight or be useful very effectively against that Aeon Sniper commander of Team 1's Warzek. And essentially, it is more about the how fast can I reach in my hit point versus how wide or how far out I can fire. And Warzek pushes forward and goes, this is not good. And those hit points are being drained off that commander. He's falling into the mid-yellows now. And Neuroxis, Necrosis, I knew I was going to say it at some point, continuing to focus down the commander alone. Zwarzek is not feeling great. He is sitting at 1-star veterancy, but there's a lot of Mantis, and I think there might be a Control K in his future, or a death imminent. Necrosis like, I need to get out of here. And he just wants to kill. He's going to go for it. 200, 100, and there he goes. Team 2 scores a kill on Team 1's Warzak, and is now a tied-up game here at 10 minutes and 39 seconds, I think was the time of that. Did not forget when you're... Did you forget you were fighting? No idea what that means. Anyway, in the east, gun damage range has been started on Plunder's commander. Snog is in the mid-yellows as well. Spectre Slave as well, trying to protect his teammate of Plunder for going for that upgrade. And Telemazer senses blood, moves in to intercept. Mexes are down, but again, they're Team 1's Mexes, not Team 2's. Not really worried about that. And, of course, Spectre Slave gets a veterancy, almost at 2. Snog at 1. Plunder does not finish that gun upgrade, more worried about dying than trying to finish it. He is in the yellow now, so he's going to fall back and probably build it probably about there. More T2 units coming online here for Snog. He's building the hoplites. I rarely see the hoplites in the T2 phase. They're a lot weaker. They're essentially the Siren equivalent of the Mongoose, but they're a little bit more range, but significantly less hit points than the Rhino or the Wagner for that case. The Telemazer with that gun and Nanocob is inbound, and Team 2's both commanders need to retreat immediately. T2 PD Tickle Cannon is online, but that's not going to do a whole lot against a Nano repair and gun comm of Team 1. In the west, we have Team 1's Vast going for a T3 upgrade versus Necrosis. That is another UEF comm. He's going to get probably Ravagers or spam up T2 Triads. I think T2 Triads would be a lot better. We have some Blazes being blitzed together as quickly as they can be to deal with the incoming threat from Necrosis. He's at 3-star veterancy, and that comm of Vast is moving in. There's a lot of Aurora here, and they're trying to target that commander, but the 96 hit points a second region is just so many hit points to deal with for Team 1 units. Boss doesn't have gun on board, which will give the advantage to Team 2's comm, but those Team 1 PD being spammed up very, very quickly here. Those hit points are now flying off that commander. And I think Voss's goal is just to force Necrosis to move and get out of range. But the gun upgrade will be a little bit more out of range than the Team 1 PD. Overcharge killing off a couple of wall sections and a unit or two, but that comm is now in the yellow, and we'll have to be very careful unless he gets blitzed down by T2 PD. Tickle Cannon still online, shield online here for Snog, going for nano repair on board that commander, trying to survive as best he can. Overcharge comes in, takes out a decent portion of the shield. We have some loyalists online for Telemazer. 13 minutes on the clock. T3 land has been accomplished. Spectre Slave coming in to assist. Telemazer falls back, tries to get in behind Spectre Slave's commander, acting as a nice little shield for that commander, trying to body block those shots. And Snog is going to get nano on board, but that shield is now down, and he's facing down two commanders, and loyalists are inbound. He can't be EMP'd. Comms are impervious to that, or else it'd be kind of OP to just EMP your enemy commander, and then just it'd be very easy. So it's impervious to that. Plunder is behind, has gun and nano on board as well. But we could see a departure here pretty shortly here for Team 2. Two comms are almost inbound. One of them is. The other one is, again, trying to secure the area. But again, Team 2's goal, at least on probably this side, is either to push in as far as they can or hold position. But with more loyalists coming online for Team 1 Telemazer, they need to be very, very careful, because all it's going to take is a couple of units to get in and get near those commanders, and it's game over. 2v2 here. Tickle Cannon. Actually, no, those are, sorry, Rhinos, not Tickle Cannons. Now that's a Tickle Cannons online. Plunder acting as the body blocking shield here for Team 2 Snog. Plunder losing hit points very, very quickly, though. He has nano as well, but not as good as the one on the Cyberns at 90 versus 56. And Loyalists and T2 units inbound going after Snog. It's definitely just kind of a hot potato scenario. One comm goes in, one comm goes out, the other comm goes in, it goes out, and kind of like this nice little cycle going down here on this eastern side. In the middle of the map here, it's been pretty quiet. Run by opportunity, or I should say fly by opportunity here from Dimitri outbound with some those oh, those are Harbingers. Okay, I was confused because it was a Seraphim transport with Aeon units. I was confuzzled. But those Ilshis are ripped apart by those Harbingers guarding that position, or moved in, I should say, not the Harbingers were guarding, the Ilshis were. Spectre Slave in the red at 2-star veterancy. Telemazer at almost 4-star versus Snog's 3-star. Looks like Snog really wants to kill on Spectre, but will retreat before he is killed off. That would have been a nice little murder-suicide, but I don't think Snog feels like that's worth it at this stage in the game. Both teams have lost one player, that being Toka in the middle for Team 2 and Zwarzek in the west here for Team 1. And in terms of map control, I mean, it's a little bit in favor of Team 2, I'd say, but not by much. But this attack outbound from Dimitri kills off a decent amount of mexes. There are a couple of Stingers and Team 1 Bombers responding to this threat. In terms of mass generation, it's been on reclaim probably for a little bit. Team 2 sitting at 860 mass per second. Team 1 sitting at not even 600, so over 250 mass more per second for Team 2. That is a huge advantage. And of course, that will help fight back against the percentage of map control that they currently have. In the east here, Snog still in range of Telemazer's commander. He's in 4-star veterancy now. Spectre Slave almost at 3-star. Snog at 4-star now. So these comms are getting veterancy very, very quickly here. Plunder at 2-star veterancy. Telemazer going after the PD being built over here by some more engineers. And again, it's just very much a back and forth, but Team 1 is favoring ever so slightly. More reinforcements are appearing. Team 2's forces are kind of delayed. T3 is now online. That's what explained why. And it's just huge back and forth. There's no real clear winner. I mean, there's momentum for Team 1, but again, it's the whole, do you fall back and lose territory that you essentially gained in the beginning that was on Team 1's side of the map, or you hold position for as long as you can and you might die. So it's kind of one of those catch your losses kind of scenarios. Telemazer now in range of Snog's commander. Spectre Slave, again, being very careful not to be caught up in Snog's explosion. It could be that Snog gets to 0, or Spectre Slave falls to 0 and Snog's at 20, not 2200, 2100 or something, and he dies as well. These comms being very careful. More reinforcements outbound from Telemazer through this avenue of attack. And now we see reinforcements in from the east for Telemazer, coming in, hooking maneuver, going after the commander of Snog. Snog Again, at 4-star veterancy, he has some T2 reinforcements. Telemazer still trying to blitz down that commander. He doesn't have an easy vector of escape. He can get to this point, and then he's kind of stuck over there on that little cliffside. We have a couple of parashields online protecting Snock's commander, but there are still 2 commanders with gun comms. Bombers inbound here from Cups to assist at least a little bit, dealing a little bit of damage. 5-star veterancy on board Telemazer's commander, as well as Snogg's. We have 20,000 versus 20,000 versus 16,000 versus 17,000. The Spectre Slave, of course, sitting at 1 more veterancy than Plunder in the west. Team 1 gaining more momentum on this western side here against Team 2's Necrosis, not Neuroxis. I have to, again, continue to pronounce that C every single time. Brick versus Brick here. I don't see any of some land forces here for Plunder, but he is the air player. But he is producing a lot of engineers, and he's sending them up here. It looks like he's... Are those mexes on Plunder's side of them? Those are Snogg's mexes. Huh. Gunships are... Actually, no, gunships are inbound. Transports are inbound. Dropping off more reinforcements here on the eastern side here for Team 2. And Team 1's player of Telemazer goes down to a control K. Kills everything except for a brick over there for himself. This was a huge move. There's some transports had units, some did not. But Telemazer saw the writing on the wall of, if these forces land, I'm dead anyways, so I might as well go for it. And he took it and ran with it. There weren't that many units laden on those transports. I'd say there were 1, 2, 3 groups of units, as well as a couple on that one, of 1 on that one. So there was, what, 13 units? But that would have blitzed him down very, very quickly. It is now a 4v5 in favor of Team 2. Whether or not you agree with that play or not, let me know down in the comments. But I will say this. It was either Telemazer dies by Harbingers or Telemazer dies by Control K himself, killing all the Harbingers at the same time. So he actually kind of saves the life to Spectre Slave, at least the momentum that they gained at a minimum. There are some more PD online here trying to force back Team 2's advance, but reinforcements arriving for Snog are inbound. And he has actually, these are Blaze forces. These are Aeon, not Sideburn. I wonder if these were donated over by to him by somebody. We see a couple of bricks here for him as well, but still no UEF forces here for Plunder. Not even engineers yet to get reclaimed. But those blazes are surrounding Spectre Slave's commander, and once those parashields go down, that is not going to go good here for him. Blaze is still here on the eastern side, targeting those units. More bricks inbound here from the units outbound from Telemazer. And Snog again is at 5-star veterancy. He can kill more and more mass, but he's not getting more hit points anytime soon, so he has to be very careful about there's no just infinite growth of hit points. On this western side, we do see missiles outbound and an attack, slow attack outbound from Cups. It is Loyalists versus Harbingers. Harbingers will win that fight any day of the week. Ravager creep starting here for Voss on the western side. Necrosis cannot fight that. He needs artillery to do so. And there are there are Team 1 bombers inbound going after something. No, I guess they're just targeting the shield just to take out some of the capacity. Units outbound from the middle here from Sleep Pride, probably to assist this push and go after one of these 2 commanders. Snog, again, 180 hit points a second. Regen is in the yellow. Plunder at 68, and he's perfectly fine. When I saw I was that close, I'm like, I'm just going to wait here and kind of draw out my little comment about that. In terms of the game overall, at 20 minutes on the clock, Team 1 at 4 players left, just losing Telemazer a few minutes ago, and Zwarzak earlier on, and Toka being the first casualty of the game for Team 2, being at 5 players remaining, so it's 5v4 in favor of Team 2 of the Southern team. Team 2 sitting at 1.5k mass income, Team 1 at 1.1, so at least 300 mass more for Team 2 per second at a minimum. That is a lot of mass to be ahead. The big players in mass generation primarily are Dimitri, 11, being that he does have dual base. And again, everybody else on Team 2 is 400 and below. Team 1 has 1 player almost at 400, that being Voss, on dual base as well. We do see another attack outbound from primarily Snog's forces, with Plunder still holding position to assist. We see some Harbingers as well, and I feel like this is just units outbound from, it looks like, Babel sending forces that way to assist. We do see a lot of PD being built to protect the mass investments here for Snog. Some forces do break through this little wall section, but get stopped by those PD and defending forces. And all of that momentum that Team 1 had just goes right down the drain and goes right back to Team 2. We do see that Spectral Slave has fallen back to this position. Random E-storage there and producing more parachutes and more bricks in the interim. On the western side here, attack outbound from a Colossus from Dimitri 11. Voss is in the red. He's being body blocked by his own structure. He's trying to get out of range, but Necrosis has him in his sights. 3,000 hit points and falling. That is a dead commander is what that is. Even given the Colossus, the Calm is going to kill him before Dimitri has a chance to. 1,200 hit points, couple more shots will do. Voss is commander in. 400, 200, 100, 2 more shots. There he goes. Team 1 loses another player at 22.5 minutes, dropping this game to a 5v3 in favor of the team in the south, that being Team 2. Everything will most likely be transferred over to Cups. He will now be on triple base. And we do see that he has a T2 naval headquarters online, cruiser, and now a Salem class destroyer, using those legs to get into places that normally other naval units would not be able to do so. And that is just essentially mobile T2 artillery. We do see that Colossus continuing to barrel on through Team 1's defenses that don't really exist at this point, because there's really nothing that is built for defense. Fat Boy is online for Sleep Pride. That might be enough to shake up that Colossus's assault, but it's going to take a little bit to get there to realistically get in range of those cannons. In the east, it looks like Snog has held his attack for the time being, building up more forces and moving in. T2 artillery also raining into softening up Team 1's defenses and units as they continue to move around to avoid those shots. Laser has been started on board Cups Commander. Very interesting. He sees a threat. It looks like everything's been transferred over to Sleep Pride. Not who I thought it would be. I mean, I guess he's the default, but not to Cups. Colossus barreling down Team 1's door. Fat Boy is now in range of those Harbingers, and they are just going to run in and kill off everything they can. A couple of bricks have been built to try to defend, but it's not going to do anything against the Colossus. 2-star veterancy at half hit points remaining. A Monkey Lord needs to be built. Crab, Chicken. Okay, well, speaking of Chicken, it's online here for Sleep Pride, but it's going south, not west. And on the eastern side, Crab has been started by Spectre. He didn't go for Monkey. He wants that extra range, which I can't blame him in that regard because he's been on the back foot for most of the game so far. Colossus continuing to barrel on through, killing off Nexus and Mexes. Team 2 now at least 500 more mass a second, more than Team 1. That Fat Boy is rolling into range of that Colossus. That Fat Boy, if it does not start moving out, will get killed. That Colossus, I don't know if it sees that Fat Boy is there, but if Team 2's Dimitri is paying attention, he can see that Fat Boy. The Fat Boy is in range. That Fat Boy is going to die. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it unless massive amounts of PD can fire into that Colossus' shell and kill it off. Fat Boy is dropping into the yellow, dropping into the red. That Fat Boy will survive on about little under 3,000 hit points remaining. Ooh, that Fat Boy's like, that was close. He's like, that was not great. We do see a couple of bricks outbound, killing off a couple of mexes for, I think that's Spectre Slave, and now going after some resourcing options for Cups. Monkey Lord making the charge here on the eastern side here. That Crab cannot be built sooner. There are lots of engineers being devoted to this assistance, but that Monkey Lord might get there before. No, I think that Monkey Lord's going to get there before that Crab is done. But I don't know if they'll stop the construction of the Crab. There's so many engineers already there, and there's a lot more inbound. Spectre Slave is just being pummeled this game on this eastern side. And on the western side here, Team 2 has, a nice thing going for them. Gained a lot of territory with that Colossus paving the way for it. I do see a couple of Fire Beetles though for Cups, so that'll be interesting to see if it gets to use those. Looks like the destroyers in the middle here for Team 1 get annihilated by Team 2's forces. Cruiser missiles are outbound here from Dimitri 11. And now we're going to have a good old Chicken and Colossus fight at some point. Reinforcements arriving from the west here from Dimitri 11. 26 minutes on the clock here. Cruiser is a little bit in range of some stuff, not a lot of stuff. But that chicken is not going to win that fight, considering there are T3 units inbound. We have Cruiser Fire in, and of course the main Colossus weapon is in range. Corsairs are coming in little by little. It's not going to do as much damage, of course, or enough damage to kill off the Colossus before the chicken dies. Chicken does die. Colossus gains some veterancy, and this base here for Sleep Pride is going to be destroyed. So Team 2 is winning on all three fronts, which is not great here if you're rooting for Team 1, because they are on the back foot in every avenue. And in the match generation game, 1.1 versus 2,000 mass per second. That is a lot of mass to be up here at 26 minutes on the clock. They better be spending it on something. And Monkey is being built. Colossus is being built. It looks like it's air facilities here for Dimitri over there. Main base. Not a lot of air you would expect here out of Plunder, considering he's in that, that kind of slot. Crab being started here for Snog. That's almost done for him as well. The Monkey Lord does get stopped just barely out of range of the main base here for Spectre Slate, but just barely. It looks like the Crab wasn't even built. Apologies for missing that fight, but I mean, it wasn't going to eradicate Spectre Slate, but it was going to do a lot of damage. Teleporter has been started for Cups, and that might be Team 1's only play. Team 2 might not be expecting it this early in the game. It's not even 30 minutes yet, so that would be very change of pace here. T3 Naval Headquarters in a tiny little pond like this only has so much influence. They've already gained the middle of the map here. It's not like they're going to gain much of anything else. There is a Colossus underneath the naval facility here for Cubs. Cubs is on that upgrade. Does Team 2 see? Oh, they see that comm, and that comm is on an upgrade. And if there are bricks in here, which there are not, that comm would be dead, but there are not, so they're fine. He's fine for right now. Teleporter is about 50% done. We do see a couple of bricks over here to the western. The Colossus has this, getting more PD and artillery online, and again securing that position on the western side. ASF's having a fight over here with some spy planes. Another experimental is built. It is a monkey. One crab versus one monkey, but there's a lot of brick support as well. So Team 2 is going to win that fight, but they'll take heavy losses at the same time. Are those Perseus? Those are Perseus. That's what blitzed down that monkey lord probably very quickly. Two chickens have emerged to come deal with the Colossus here from Team 2's Dimitri. There's another fresh one from Babel, and another two fresh ones for Dimitri 11 as well. That's a lot of mass in experimentals here for Team 2. That one chicken is DED. That one's not getting out of range anytime soon. Cups is now over the 50% mark for that teleportation upgrade. Ion Stone will activate, kill off a decent amount of harbinger with the initial burst, and that Colossus transferred over to Dimitri. Will it get noticed is the question, because it's in range of the Ion Storm, and that's not going to feel good. It's in the yellow. It's probably not going to die. There's already been a lot of damage output by that Ion Storm. It looks like it does. But more than half of its hit points, that is a lot of unnecessary damage right there. I feel like it would have been better had Babel walked it back and then given it over. But that's just me. Bat Boy is still online. That's actually probably a new one. Maybe that's the same. I don't see any Fat Boy Rex, so that's possibly the old one. But that roughed up pretty quickly considering. Maybe it had some assistance. Gunships outbound here from Team 1's Sleep Pride, and that comm is vulnerable, and Team 1 is like, oh, we're going to go after this base over here. They do see the comm. They're like, oh, we knew where he is. He was over here at some point. He only has stealth. He does not have cloaking, and that is a DED comm. Team 1 scores a kill on Team 2's player of Necrosis, and that will be transferred over to Dimitri 11, who also has a nuke. And it is a little bit loaded so far. How is the upgrade here for Cups going? It is almost done. So what could Cups go for? He could go after the nuke if they know about it. That'd be a lot of mass killed off just with the pigeons alone. Could go after the T3 air facility. That's not really a huge thing. That's really about it. I think the nuke would be the big target. What is this? What is going on over here? We have 1, 2, 3 players building T2 and T3 radar systems, and are they control K-ing them? Are they reclaiming them? Like, what's that one? Why? That one gets blown up. That one gets blown up. New one gets built. What? I don't I don't get it. I like the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup of the radar. Why? Then there's some over here. What the heck's going on over here? Are they just bored and just have mass to burn? Like, what's been a lot of T3 Omni sites. But we do have those broadswords outbound from Team 1, and they sniped that nuke launcher. Actually, there were 2 of them, it looks like, that was just built. Experimental is being built as well. Team 2 did not have adequate air defenses. Pigeons went offline. Now the Mechs is going offline for Dimitri 11. He should have... Oh, that is not a lot of adequate power to deal with all those Mechs here. Ooh, that's not great. He is losing a considerable amount of mass per second and not having enough power. Team 2 drops to 1.6k. Of course, some of that is power related. Team 1 now at 1.3k. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the radar systems, but that's pretty funny. I guess that might even be the thumbnail of you cannot have too much. Stop control K-ing them. I want to take a screenshot. You can't have too much radar. T3 Hovathan. Oh. So Dimitri 11's like, well, if I can't have my nuke via the normal way, I'll have my nuke via the the mobile way. That being the Hathum class battleship of the Seraphim. Oh, that's going to not be great here for Team 1 if that gets to be built. We do have a couple more broadswords still alive, going after more and more of that mass generation. And Cups is defeated and drawn with plunder. Looks like he went after assassination. Bro, you just saved us. Now I can have his base. How much are you paying Plunder Sleep Pride, says Necrosis. I don't know what that's in reference to. Maybe Plunder was just having some fun with it. But it is now a 2v3 game here. It was 5v3. It is now 2v3. Team 1 having 2 players left. Team 2 having 3 players left. And we have an attack through the middle here. And I missed it. Tons of Colossus and chickens are killed off in that attack. I don't... Yeah, they must have just... These ones just must have been sent in. Team 1 will net a ton of reclaim. There already are mechs, engineers building PD to protect these investments, but it's not going to do anything against the gunships from Team 1 and the chickens that are now being built spam-tastically. We do see there's still a decent amount of T2 and T3 AA underneath these gunships, which will deal with most of them. They're going after the the crab-producing facilities, and this is going to wreck the rest of those Colossus. I don't see anything else. Fat Boy still on the western side here. And that Colossus is inbound. Going after the Mexes. Could go after the Pigeons. But wants to kill the mass generation here for Sleep Pride. We do see Sleep Pride is now dealt with that Colossus. It is going to grab that Pigeon, though. That's going to hurt. That T3 land headquarters is bye-bye. There it goes. There it goes. And like I said, Team 1 has 2 players left. Team 2 has 3 players left. And I'm probably going to fuse that at some point. 2 crabs versus 2 monkeys and possibly a Fat Boy and a crab. That will favor Team 1 as long as the monkeys can get into range. Lots of bricks and a decent amount of Perseus to boot as well. And I'll keep my eye on that by splitting the screen a little bit. I don't want to miss that Colossus push that we saw that I missed earlier on. But chickens for Team 1 have grabbed the reclaim over here. That's a lot of reclaim, to be fair. Currently on the map, sitting at overall 300,000 mass. Decent amount of it being Dimitri's base. But what is that? Let's say 150,000 being on Team 1 side of the map. And I'd say that's probably about 120,000 at a minimum. That's a lot. That's like Game Menders level of mass kind of thing. 1 monkey is defeated before it gets in range of that crab. Let's go back over here. Second monkey is going to go after all of the T3 support, not going after the crab. And now it is in range of said crab. Crab in range for Team 1 and both in range from Team 2. Fat Boy has been completed. Raining in against that T3 support. Tons of bricks online. A couple of Perseus to boot as well. And they're now essentially ringing all around this force here from Team 2. That crab is walking back as quickly as it can. But this attack is probably not going to go well here for Team 2. They'll kill a lot of stuff that Team 1 owns in terms of units. And maybe a couple of mexes, but it's going to net them a ton of reclaim from 2 crabs and all these T3 units. Of course, there's a lot of destroyed wrecks. Destroyed wrecks being they were wrecks and then they were obliterated by the damage done to them. But that's still a lot of mass to claim here for Team 1. And that's in Team 1's hands, not Team 2's, just primarily due to the FAF boy, but now that the bricks are moving in, that crab is going to do as much damage as he can. Mass. All the mass. I wonder if Dimitri 11... Nope, still probably should turn off some of these Omni sites because they're each 2,000. That'd save him some energy income. Probably 3... Actually, you could probably turn off 4 of them. Actually, all 5 of them, and you could just have Snog generate the power needed to do that one. Looks like he got rid of this group of radar systems as well. Missiles outbound here from Team 2 going after Reclaim, it looks like. Saying, okay, if you can't have it. Actually, they're going after the engineers. The engineers going like, hey, we are trying to get this mass. You go away. So, if Team 2 can't have it, nobody can kind of strategy. Which, of course, is fair. In terms of mass generation, Team 2 still in the lead. 2.1k versus 1.4. How is that battleship nuke loading? Well, it is almost done. And is it so many engineers? There's so... Oh, I missed it. Dang it. Oh, no. They're going to load another one, because why not? Are you going to launch it? You're going to launch that nuke? You're going to launch it? I like... there is... It looks like there's an Aeon engineer riding the... riding that battleship. Just because of the way it was positioned. Battleship going to move into range, or at least as far as it can. And the yellow is the range on the nuke. That is a long range, I might add. Looks like it's going to nuke up here to the north. There is no SMD up there. At least that hasn't been... Nope, there is no SMD up there. It's going to be a smaller nuke than the normal nuke size that we get. That, had it been sent over to the west, would have been shot down by that SMD. And we have more chickens. Again, just holding off the attack from Team 2, allowing the engineers to grab as much as they can. And that Ion Storm doing a decent amount of damage to that Colossus. First Colossus is down for Team 2. First Chicken is down for Team 1. And the Chickens outnumber those Colossi 2-1. Now, well, I mean, they outnumber them 2-1, but now there's 2 remaining. This group of Harbingers doing a ton of damage to these 2 Chickens alone. Ion Storm now activating, going after that group of Harbingers, as I mentioned. Still good, says Cups. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me with that? YOLO was being built, and it was missed. I don't know if probably Team 2 didn't see that. Oh, if you zoom in, you can see it. But, yeah, that's ridiculous how close that was. So all that Team 1 needs to do is get some more engineers over there. They built the SMD just to protect it, and then they're going to build a YOLO. 37 minutes on the clock here, following that mass that they reclaimed into a project. Team 2 getting more crabs over there for Snog. Dimitri has the entire southern edge to himself. Everybody else that occupied those spaces are now dead. And there's still mexes that still have to be rebuilt. So Dimitri's been losing a ton of mass per second, not going after that, being wholly focused on the loading of that Hathum. But to be fair, at the same time, he's also building a Paragon. So Voss says, oh, look, there's a Paragon. Look at that. That literally, as I pointed out, he messages in the chat. It's almost like the Void is like, the Void is helping us communicate or something. I don't know. But the YOLO is still holding out. We do see those engineers. They're like, okay, we loaded one halfway, so we probably should finish, going after that YOLO. This one is still halfway there, so I think the passive loading of the SMD might be enough to produce the one based on that battleship. And maybe they're going to send it to the west now. I don't know. Team 2 knows about it. They see all the engineers. There's going to be a spy plane inbound at some point. Looks AFK, says Voss to Sleep Pride. Yeah, I don't think he's AFK. We do see that again. Spectral Slave is holding position in the east. Missiles are outbound, going after the Omni sensor. That's going to hurt Team 1. Taking out the radar systems that they have an abundance of. And they still have all of these, by the way. Of course, all the engineers are sitting next to the radar systems, because why not? But Team 2 has prepped a decent amount of SMD. Whether or not they did it on accident or on purpose, they still did it. The Chicken is dead. Did get in range of the Fat Boy, but wasn't able to kill it. That's more mass for Team 1 to scoop up and funnel into that YOLO. YOLO is now almost at 50% of the way done at 5,900. How is the Paragon doing? It should be close to it is done. It is done. Used for PGen, says Voss. And looks like they're building a bunch of shields. That's smart building. Okay, so I will make this a point. Don't build it that close to that Paragon. Build it like down here or something. Don't build it right next to it. Because if that one goes up, that one's probably going to go up. I don't know if that... Ooh, I don't know if that's still in range or not. I wish it gave a like an explosion radius when you hovered over it. Like, oh yeah, it's going to explode this amount of stuff kind of thing. But I think it might grab the other Paragon. But that means it's infinite money glitch here for Team 2. And he's probably going to pump out some salvations and I guess some engineering stations to again accelerate the growth of the second Paragon. That's actually going up decently quick, I might add. SMD 3 loaded, SMD 3 loaded, SMD 2 loaded. So that is SMD right there, and more SMD. Oh yeah, Team 2's prepping for a massive amount of YOLO missiles inbound. Of course, that YOLO is going not as quick as probably Team 1 would like it, but they're getting their own shields as well. Second nuke is going to go right there. That SMD is about to load, though, so that nuke on board that battleship will not finish in time or even launch in time. And even more SMDs being built here by Team 2's Babel, so there is no way that YOLO is breaking through is what Team 2 is thinking. The entirety of Team 2's focus is now going to be mainly on defense, at least for Babel's perspective. Dimitri's perspective, still going for a YOLO, could be producing artillery, could be producing literally anything else, but he's going to produce another Paragon. Because, I mean, you might as well start another one, but because why not? But in this case, it's one of those scenarios where probably should go for maybe something offensive. 40 minutes on the clock and climbing. Nuke is outbound, going for that position. The SMD has been built, so that's no problem there. Building more PGens. Looks like Team 1's Sleep Pride needs more PGens. And that YOLO's about to get into the green. The sooner he builds that, the sooner he can fire it, the sooner he can start chewing through all the SMDs that Team 2 is building. And loading quite quickly, I might add. A lot of them already either have one or two of them, or you know, there's just more and more being built all the time. Essentially, they're nullifying the ability of that YOLO to really do anything. Shields are down around the YOLO, though. Missiles are inbound. And is that YOLO going to die by TMLs? I think so. There's no SMD, TMD protection. Oh, it's not going to die, but it loses a significant amount of its hit points. Another volley is required, and it is inbound. It might be enough to kill it off. Shields are back online, so it will not go down. So it loses hit points, but the progress is not gone in terms of completed, air quotes. So that's what I do like about Subcom, is that if you try to destroy a unit or a structure while it's building, that hit points it loses does not decrease the progress. It just says when it's built, it just lost that many hit points kind of thing. I do like that, because then you could just infinitely damage something and you never the opponent would never be able to build it. Which I guess at some point it would die anyways, but you catch my drift. You can try to save essentially a structure that is under construction by just trying to just continue to build it. But the YOLO is done, and all focus on the loading of the super nukes is online. 2 colossi have made their way into the water, and there are 2 chickens moving in to intercept. Oh, I think I know where those colossi are going. There are a decent amount of Othams waiting to engage. Don't think that's enough to really blitz down 2 colossus, though, so Team 1 needs more defenses. 1, 2, 3 crabs online. 1 fat boy, 3 monkeys versus 1 crab and a host of bricks. But that many crabs, those bricks are going nowhere. That brick wall is going to get demolished. And there are more reinforcements in the east here from Spectre Slave. So mainly all the land fighting's been happening over here, and mainly all of the like prepping up for long range engagements is happening over in the west and in the middle. Chicken does stand in the way of those Othams moving in. Those Othams are grabbed by those suction arms of those Colossus. 1 chicken is down. That Colossus is only in the yellow, though. It doesn't really care. It's going to go after that. Actually, it's just going to go after the other chicken. That's a huge mistake. They should just go straight for that Paragon, that YOLO. Second Colossus is going to do just that. But the broadswords are already there. SMD is not loaded. Nuke is launched. And it's launched from Team 1, excuse me, not Team 2. And that Colossus does not make it in range. Definitely unfortunate. This chicken actually survives. Missile is outbound, but doesn't really go anywhere. 1 engineer dies. But the YOLO is shot down, of course, by the host of SMDs. Team 1 needs to send in Actually, if they send in 1 or 2 chickens, actually, if they send in 1 chicken, that'll be enough to kill everything here. Because there's really nothing to defend all these SMDs. Nuke is still loading on board that. Second Paragon now gifted over to Snog, so 2 players now have infinite resources. Now the other question is does Dimitri build a 3rd one? And he is, and it's already in the green. So it's already 75% of the way done. What is he doing with that? Are you building a bunch of Mavors? Are you building a bunch of Scathis? What are you doing with all that mass? Nothing. All you're building are more. You can build more crabs. I mean, that works, but you might as well spend all that mass that you're getting from that infinite money glitch. What's going on? You've had air all game, says Snog. Honestly, just waiting to die to air.
Strategic launch detected.
Beep boop, says Spectre Slave. XP go. Was it XP go burr? Yeah, XP go burr. Talking about the crabs a bit of the north. Paragon when, says Spectre Slave. 50%, says Splendor. Who's, says Snogs. That's a good comment there. YOLO is outbound. Going after over here. I mean, it's going to take out an Omni, but again, as we've stated, Team 2 has plenty of those. And kaboom. Oh, also kaboom for that one over there earlier on. It's very pretty YOLO missile. Fans out the around there, just killing everything. I like the initial shock and then initial damage. Very much just coming to the Awasa bomb. You have the initial damage and then the secondary damage. Another nuke is outbound. That nuke is actually firing relatively quickly, I might add. But again, that SMD coverage for Babel is decently comprehensive. He has 11 right there. And then we have Dimitri sitting at, oh, he's going for donuts. He has 14 of them over there. So, yeah, there is no way. Snipe him, says. Wait, Tilka says snipe him. Oh, he's probably talking to. Wow, that's a lot of air coverage around that comm. I think he's just having fun with it at this point.
Launch detected.
I mean, YOLO's just going to try to chew through all of those defenses. He's trying to edge nuke around these SMDs, but that that Zara is outbound. He's producing more. He's produced a... Okay, so how many Paragons does this guy need? He has 1 right there, and he has 3 of them right here. So even if he loses these ones, he still has that one. So that means everybody... You get a Paragon. You get a Paragon. Everybody gets a Paragon. I don't know if that's going to be the thumbnail, but that is a little ridiculous. It's like Oprah. It's like everybody gets a Paragon. Jeez, that is... yeah, that's a little nuts. Is he building... Okay, he's building a YOLO. I was like, do not build another Paragon, please. That'd be number 5, which would be ridiculous. What would also be ridiculous is that other players on Team 2, that being Babel specifically, builds a Paragon himself, since he already has a Paragon, which would be insane to just have Paragons everywhere. And there are multiple Strat Bombers inbound. Please tell me you use distributed orders so you can break through all the shields and whatnot and kill all the SMDs off. Do not tell me you're going all after. Okay, no, you're just splitting up a little bit. That's good. Bombs are inbound, but that's a lot of over damage. Or over... Still don't know the word for that, where you like just, fire, you deal more damage than you need to.
Strategic launch detected.
It's not overpower, but it's something like that. SMD is going down. That is 1 SMD. That's a lot of shots that could have hit the other 2. That's a lot of shots. That's a lot of bombs that could have hit the other 2 anti-nukes. And these 2 are not going to fire. Looks like that one right there will fire. That one over there does fire, it looks like. Those 2 are gone. And all the SMDs are taken offline. Actually, no, not all of them. There's so many of them that they're hiding the engineers. T3 is done here for Dimitri. I wonder what he's doing on that commander. He's going for teleporter. Interesting. I wonder what he's doing. But again, he has 4 Paragons online and is producing a YOLO and is loading his own YOLO missile right now just to the absolute horde that are those drones. 175 drones. 170. Oh, and he's targeting Spectre. Oh, that's got to hurt. And he does have 3 SMDs loaded, so he will deter 1 missile, but... Oh, that's mean. Oh, hi. Building T1. And was he building T2 mass fabs just to blow him up? He's going for an upgrade. What? Oh, he can't build because he's in the middle of that the hologram. Oh, that's not really going to work for you, Dimitri, is it? There is a monkey in range. Oh, and he's like, oh, I should probably get out of there. If that monkey is able to get there, he might get out. I think he will get out. It's going to be... Oh, it's about half for... Oh, nope, he's gone. See you, bye. There he goes. Team 2 loses another player. It is now 2v2. 48 minutes on the clock. This game is very weird. Or 5 Paragons, because why not? Why not put a Paragon next to all of your SMDs? So that way if it blows up, it all blows up, because why not? Spy plane's inbound to get a read on what Team 2 is doing. I can't do it. He looked at me funny. I wanted to offer you Paragon. Yeah, sure. That's lie. Yeah, I definitely do that. Lies. My FPS this Snog just died. Is that? Don't tell me that YOLO is going after. Oh, it's going after this. Oh, well, okay. Well, that's gonna land. YOLO is outbound for the YOLO in the north. That YOLO does land over here. Kaboom! And YOLO is outbound once again. I don't think there's enough SMDs to cover this. That's not gonna go good. Nuke. Wait, where'd the nuke go? Wait. Oh, the nuke's landing. Oh, the nuke's launching. That is a dead YOLO, is what that is. Oh, will it launch one more before it dies? Oh, I mean, Team 2 won the game. When you have like 5 Paragons, you pretty much just won the game at that point. And there are 2. Hold on a second. Do you have 2 YOLOs? I just want to see something. Do you have? Wait. Okay. What kind of nuke? Hold on. What nuke is that? Is that just? Oh, it's just regular. Okay. It looked like another YOLO. I was gonna be like, that is ridiculous. All the transports. Okay, well, that's never fun. the regular nuke beat out the YOLO. Oof. Boom. That's GG. Yeah, like 6 Paragons on the map right now. And there's an artillery been built by Team... Oh, if it's a... It is a Mayport. The Mayport has been built. Because why not? Why not just have a Mayport? Because why not? This game is weird. I love it. All the nukes. Oh, please tell me you're going after one of the unshielded Paragons. Oh, that's going to be very explosive. There's 2 Paragons. Please tell me you're targeting that one. And there's just a line of Paragons. Oh, that's a lot of YOLOs going to mine that Paragons. Where's that artillery landing? Please tell me you're going after the YOLOs down here. Please. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's going after the YOLOs. Shields are falling around those Paragons. More shots are inbound. There goes one. It's just barely out of range of the other one. But the shields are down. Oh, okay, so it's barely... no, that's not as wide as a range as I thought I did. Second shot is inbound. Let's see if it hits that... Nope, missing that one. And there's, again, a Paragon over here and a Paragon over there and a Paragon over there. Does it kill... It does kill off the YOLO as well. Looks like the YOLO was killed off. Scath this down here. We're seeing all the experimentals in the game. 50 minutes on the clock. Team 2, you have so much SMD coverage. So many Paragons. So many. Yes, exactly. So many paras. Yes. Yes, that's just... Oh, there goes another explosion. There's another Paragon this match. Very weird. I think Dimitri just had too much fun with this. We have crabs in the middle here for Team 1's Spectre Slave. Another YOLO goes down right here next to a couple of Colossi. Oof. Another Paragon again right next door. YOLOs are still being built by Team 2 Snog. Man. I think Snog loser, says Dimitri. No, I wouldn't say that. I think, again, this game was just one of those, at some point where I'm just going to have fun with it. That's what I read from this game. And it looks like Sleep Pride has been defeated by Snog. Snog teleports in and kills Sleep Pride off. By the way, okay, you're building a shield. Good. I was like, you do not have a shield on your Paragon, or your Mavor, for shame. And everything now transferred over to Team 1 Spectre Slave, the remaining player on Team 1 versus Snog and Babel from Team 2. If Team 1... Okay, I'm just going to say this. I don't think it really matters at this point who wins. It was a very, very entertaining game. Please tell me that the... Okay, the comm's going back. I was like, a comm could just go in after... Yeah, I was going to say, comm could go after this. There's no SMD coverage. The only issue, of course, You have to realign the Paragon, the Mavor shot, so you're gonna have to take a couple seconds. How's that Scathis? Oh, Scathis was canceled. Never mind. How's the YOLO's doing? Oh, they're doing fine. Snog has the first one built, and is just gonna mass build them because why not? And I'm gonna speed this up a little bit because this is crazy. Nuke is outbound here. Where's it going? It's going over. What? Oh no! It's gonna intercept Spectre Slave's commander. Oh no, that's gonna hurt. There goes Spectre Slave. He's gonna go out in a blaze of glory. Is he in range? No, he's in range. There he goes. Got him, says Snug. I tried, says, but he did. Team 1 did a valiant effort. Very, very, very valiant effort. I mean, I think if they were a little bit faster with taking out all the SMDs, maybe it would have been a little bit different. But the 1, 2, 3, that one actually survived. 4, 5, the 6th one was being built right there. That is just insane. YOLO looks like it was. Maybe that was a Control K YOLO. It looks like. No nuke was fired there. So yeah, it looks like the YOLO blew up. He Control K'd it, I guess. But that is the game, folks. 52 minutes, 33 seconds on the clock. We saw 1 Mavor, 3 YOLOs built, 6 Paragons, which is, I think, 6 sounded weird. 6 Paragons, which is the most I think I've seen built in any one game, or almost built. I should say 5, but that was close to being somewhat being done. And then the Scathis was at least started. So we saw all of them. They weren't all constructed, that being the Scathis. That was nuts. That was a nuts game. Too many Paragons. Match probably went on a little bit longer than it needed to, just given to that fact. But Dimitri, I guess, wanted to have fun with it and just give everybody a Paragon and then go from there. Again, thank you so much for watching to this point in the video and to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching to the end of the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.